Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the class. How are you all? I hope you people are good and safe at your home. If it is so, it's very good. As I told, the countries in the European continent they have declared the lockdown again for 2 3 months in the future. So that confirms that the second wave of COVID-19 is very dangerous than the first. So that reason they have declared the lockdown there in the countries. So in result of that, the state government of Karnataka 2 days back they have announced the night curfew in the Karnataka state. So there from the night 9 o'clock to the till morning 6 o'clock, the curfew will be ongoing. So the no buses will run, the no other vehicle will run between the 9 to 6. The shops and the other liquor shops will be closed. So these all the measures and the steps are taken by the state government to reduce the spreading of this COVID-19, because we are going to have the new year celebration in the future in the next week. So that reason in the name of new year celebration the people will gather in a one place from the 12 to 1 o'clock, and it takes a so long time, and you will not be knowing, you will not be having any idea of a people, how many people are affected by the COVID-19. So if you gather over there, if you join the gathering over there, then you may get attacked by the COVID-19, then it makes very intense, serious problem in you people. So that reason, to avoid this problem in the state, the government has taken the measures that they have made this kind of law. So we need to obey these rules and regulations which is taken by the state government, because these all the rules and regulations will be taken for the better future of every citizens, is not. As a citizen of a country and as a citizen of a state Karnataka, we need to obey the decision taken by the state government, because that decision is taken by the representatives and it's guided by our people, means the common citizens. We have suggested that, because the role of government is to keep up the good health of the citizens. So in order to keep up the good health, they are doing their duty, and we must do our duty, that we should obey their orders. That's what the last class. Let's come back to the discussion, the revision classes we are having. In the last class, we have been discussing about resources planning in India, the importance of resources, what we discussed about the classification of resources. And also we discuss about the problem what we are facing because of indiscriminate use of resources. And also in last class we discussed resource planning in India. There are required the 3 methods. So we'll get back and we'll discuss into the land utilization. So if you consider the total land mass of India is 3.28 million square kilometer, that means 32 lakh square kilometers, the total land mass area. The total boundary is about 15,012 kilometers or 200 kilometers. 15,200 kilometers is the total boundary area of India. So now it's somewhat less. It's not it's not exactly 15,200 kilometers, because it's most of the areas are gone under the other countries like POK, Pakistan occupied Kashmir. And the China also, it has taken some piece of Jammu and Kashmir. So now that's the reason we don't have exactly 15,200 kilometers of a land boundary. We have approximately 15,160, because most of the area they have acquired. So here, if you consider this as 100%, the 3.28 million square kilometer, if you consider that as 100% of a land mass in India, in among that, only 97% of land is known and it's used by the Indians and it's belong to India. The remaining 3% of a land is not known, it's unknown. We don't know exactly where it lies, and we don't know exactly to which country it belongs to, because the northern part of a land boundary that submerges under the Himalayan mountain ranges. So that reason we cannot find out the exact boundary in between China, Nepal, Bhutan and India. So that reason approximately we have a 97% of a land mass which is belong to the Indians. So in under the 97% land mass what we have in India. So there are more factors, there are some important factors which made use of the places, or the some places, there are more places are used by the single factors. So what are those factors which utilized the land more? So we'll look into that. The land resources are used for the following purpose, like forest. Most of the areas are belong to the forest, means forest covered area. You know, in the ancient period, most of the areas except the area which is covered by the ice and the sand called as a desert, except these all the areas, most of the areas were covered by the forest. It was something, it was having the trees, plants, any shrubs, bushes, anything it was there. But when the civilization of a human being started to chop up the trees. He started to cut the trees and he started to clear the land for the utilization of human being for the agriculture at the first time. For having activity of agriculture, the human being started to clear the forest. Then afterwards, human beings started to clear further the areas of a land which is covered by the forest for the construction of houses. When he got the idea of a house construction, the settlement, there the people started to chop the trees for the construction of the tree settlements. From there till now, and then also future, you will be cutting the trees, you will be clearing the forest, you will be clearing the areas which is covered by the forest. It's not because of all these things we are facing a problem. It may be anything. It may be anything we are facing a problem. It's not any problem, even it may be COVID-19 or many other malaria, dengue, and there are many diseases, and there are natural disasters. These all the problems are facing. These all the problems are facing by the human beings because of the activities which we are doing towards the nature. Nature is reacting towards now. It's reacting back to us. So we need to face, we should be ready to face all those dangers what we are going to face in the future. We should ready. So that's about the forests cover mainly the most number of forest area are covered by most number of areas covered by the forest is not. Then the land not available for cultivation. There are some land which is not available other than the agriculture activity. Means that is not available for the cultivation of any crop. But we are making use that for different activities. Some lands like barren and wasteland. Barren means the land left without cultivation or without making use of that. Like the desert area, that are the barren land. Some other areas like the areas which is having a big rocks and which is consist of small stones and rocks, which doesn't have a fertile in the soil and which doesn't supports for the construction of settlements even. It's a barren land, wasteland. And a wasteland, you know about the wasteland, it is left without use. Either we are not using that land for the grazing, food or for the animals. So that about the wasteland. Then land put to the non-agriculture uses. Land put to the non-agriculture uses, for example, building roads and the factories and the settlements. So most of the areas after the forest is covered by the land not available for the cultivation, mainly in the factories. Roads, it may be the land transportation, railway transportation. So these are the two important factors which is making use of the land other than the forest. Then all the factories and construction of many other buildings. Then other uncultivated lands like permanent pasture and grazing land. Permanent pasture, the land permanently it's left as per the grazing land. It has left to get a fodder for the animals. There it's a facet, it's nothing used, we are not growing any crop over there. we are not making use that for cultivation, or we are not growing, we are not making use that for the construction of houses, and it's only left for the grazing. So that's what. Then grazing land, we particularly select one land, particularly we grow the crops only for the fodder for the animals. It's a grazing land. The pasture, we have left that without cultivation or either growing graze. We have left that, we are not growing anything, but something will be grown that is made to use as a fodder for the animals. In the grazing land, in foreign, if you go there foreign, the most of land will be under the grazing, because most of the countries they live their livelihood by rearing the animals, so they need fodder for their animals. So that reason, the most of the lands under the grazing are there. The land under miscellaneous tree crops grows. The land under miscellaneous tree crop grows, not included in net zone area. Like miscellaneous tree crops, miscellaneous, different, mixed tree crops. Some other areas they will grow the teak wood, they will grow the sandalwood, they will grow the different kind of trees for the commercial activities. It is not, but it is not belong to the cultivation of a crop. That's what the areas under other cultivated land. The net fallow lands. Here, fallow land means it is left without using for some duration. It is left. Earlier it was using, we were using that, we are making use of the land earlier, but now due to some reason we are not making use of that. It is a fallow lands. So in that fallow lands we have different types, like current fallow, like the left without cultivation for one or less than one agriculture year. It was agriculture year earlier. Suppose the farmer, he was growing the crop earlier there, now he is not making use of that area for the growing crop. For 1 year or more than 1 year, like up to the 2 years, suppose he is not making, due to some reason, maybe the soil is not having fertility, maybe he is not having the money, economic problem, maybe he is not feeling well. So it all comes under the current fallow land. Then other than the current fallow land, like left uncultivated for the past 1 to 5 agriculture years. It has left uncultivated for the more than 1 years up to the 5 years, called as other than the current fallow land. Due to many other reasons, they will not grow the crops in their agriculture area for the 5 years. It's called as other than current fallow land. There are these lands what we can find in India. Then net zone area, after the agriculture, after the forest, after the land under the construction of a roadway, railways and transportation, then the net zone area is we have more in India. So net zone area then is nothing but sown more than once in agriculture year, plus net zone area is known as crop means gross cropped area, gross total area which is under the growing of a crops, fodder crops, it may be any crops, it's called as net zone area. In one the geological year means our agriculture year, one agricultural year growing more than 2 or 1 crops is called as net zone area. Actually it does in every agriculture area, it's not, they grow more than 1 or 2 crops in one agriculture year. Then you look back and then you go for the next one, that the use of land is determined by the use of a land is determined by the different factors, is not. For our different activity we make use of a land for different for satisfying our need, and also to complete our activity, and also to lead our life and livelihood. Some people we make use of a land. So that has been divided into two. One is physical factor and the human factors. Like a physical factors which makes influences in using land is topography, is not. Topography and topography is nothing but form of a land, undulation in the land, form, Himalaya, mountain, plain areas, plateau areas, valleys, coastal plains, having undulations in the land is also called as, it's all called as a topography. If the place has plain topography, that attracts, that influences more activities in there, is not. If a place has plain topography, because the plain topography that supports for the growth of agriculture area, due to that, because Indian most population are dependent on agriculture, so that plain area that supports for the growth of agriculture, and also that supports for the transportation, supports for the construction of houses and other activities, and the construction of industry. So that reason, the plain topography that attracts the more population, more activities there, it's a one factor. Then if topography is very slow, we don't tend to settle there. ಅದು ಮೌಂಟೇನ್ ಇದೆ, ಮೌಂಟೇನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಬಾಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇಬ್ಬರು ಮೂರು ಜನ ಇನ್ನು ಜಮ್ಮು ಕಾಶ್ಮೀರದಲ್ಲಿ 2-3 ಮನೆಗಳು ಇರ್ತವೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಎಲ್ಲ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸಿಟಿನೇ ಇರಲ್ಲ, because it's very difficult to live there. Then climate, like hot temperature, very high climate means very high temperature, very low temperature, thus areas will not support for the settlement and any activities. Like high temperature in Rajasthan, middle of Rajasthan, we don't have much population. In the foothills of Shivalik, we don't have much population. But in the Shivalik Himalayan mountain ranges, we have very low temperature. In the desert area, we have very high temperature. So that's the reason that doesn't support for the good settlements. Then soil types is another important factor. Soil types is another important factor which is supports and which is influences and which is suitable for growing different crops. Like in a northern plain, it's a plain area, because of plain that supports that influences, and even the northern plain is fully covered by the alluvial soil. That alluvial soil is mainly suitable for growing a crops. So such types of soil which attracts the people there, that's one physical factor. Then human factors like population density, the more population, where there is a place which is having more population there, the activities will be more. The people make use of every bit of a places there, because more population, and if they establish one shop over there, they can have a good business. That's the reason they will make use of every places, is it not? So that's the population density that influences for the make using for land. And how the population density increases, if it is a plain area, then automatically population density increases there. Then technological capability, if the place or the people are they have a well deserved for using the technology, then the places can be used, influenced for the settlement, is not? Suppose in Japan, the coastal area of Japan, there the people cannot stay there, because every time always they will be eaten by the tsunami. So that reason, actually they cannot leave, but there are more people there living in that places, because they are having a good technology. They construct their houses by using a good technology in the way which, if they attack or if they disturb by any other natural calamities, they will not get a much harm. ಆ ರೀತಿ ಮನೆ ಕಟ್ಕೋತಾರೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಮನೆ ಕಟ್ಕೋತಾರೆ. ಆ ಮನೆ ಕಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಪರಿಸರ ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬೆನ್ಸ್ ಆದರೂ ಕೂಡ, ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಡಿಸಾಸ್ಟರ್ ಆದರೂ, ಭೂಕಂಪ ಆಯಿತು ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪ್ರವಾಹ ಆದಂಗೆ ಆಯಿತು, ಅವಾಗಾದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ತೊಂದರೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಆ ರೀತಿ ಮನೆ ಕಟ್ಕೋತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದೇ ಮೇಕ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸಮ್ ಅದರ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸಸ್, by making use of a technology, they will get information whether that area is good for living or not. That's what. Then cultural and tradition. So culture, the place like a Mysuru that attracts more people to settle over there, it is not. Tradition of a Mysuru culture also very good, is not? I'm not saying the culture is not good here. Like here also it's very good cultures we have here. Like the Mudol that attracts more people to settle here, because we have a good culture here and the traditions. Then the next one, the total geographical area of India is 3 square. How it has came here? By mistake. Okay, it's okay. Then land degradation and conservation measures. The land degradation Degradation, that means declaring, is depleting in the quality and quantity of a land, decreasing in the quality, it's a land degradation. And conservation measures, we need to follow the conservation measures. We know we can make list of the factors which is responsible for the land degradation. There are many: mining activity, adding more fertilizers into that, into the agriculture area, and cutting of trees, that means deforestation, construction of other railway tracks and roads, is not, and the land pollution, and other activities like construction of house. These are all the reasons for land degradation. Then we'll discuss conservation measures like afforestation and the proper management of grazing can help us some extent. Afforestation is nothing but planting the trees. It's afforestation. Growing the areas means growing the forest again in that areas is afforestation. And management of grazing. Most of the lands are used for the grazing activity. There they will grow the crop. Within 2 months, within 1 month, they will get a crop. So they will make use of there for the animals. Again, they will grow the crop. So they will not give any gap for that field to get fertility in their soil. Again and again, continuously they will be growing the crops. That makes the land to decrease in its quality. So we can reduce in the degradation by reducing the grazing activity. The planting of a shelter beds of plants, controlling on overgrazing, stabilization of sand dunes by growing thorny bushes in some of the methods to check and degradation. These are the shelter beds, like growing the plants, trees in the boundary of the agriculture field. Agriculture field ಹಿಂಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಸುತ್ತ ಬೌಂಡ್ರಿಲಿ ಮರ ಗಿಡಗಳನ್ನ ಬೆಳೆಸುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಮಳೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ನೀರಿನ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಮಣ್ಣು ಕೊಚ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ, ಮರ ಗಿಡಗಳಿದ್ದಾಗ ತಡ್ಕೋತವೆ. ದಟ್ ಮೇಕ್ಸ್ ಅಡಲ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್. Proper management of wasteland, control of mining activities, proper discharge or disposal of industrial influence and the wastes after treatment can reduce the land and water degradation in the industrial and suburban areas. So these are the measures which we need to follow to have a means conservation measures. We need to prevent the degradation of a land. That's what in the next class we'll discuss about the soil as a resources. I hope you understood about the two concepts what we discussed now. Thank you. Have a nice day.